discuss code switching about Indonesian English code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. Nowadays, many people are using Indonesian English code switching style to assert power or declare solidarity, even to entertain people. One of the examples of the using of Indonesian English code switching to entertain people is stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is a comic style in which a comedian performs in front of a live audience, usually speaking directly to them. The performer is commonly known as a comic, stand-up comedian, stand-up comic, or simply a stand-up. In stand-up comedy, the comedian usually recites a grouping of humorous stories, jokes, and one-liners typically called a monologue, routine, or act. In Indonesia, the well-known stand-up comedy is performed by Raditya Dika, the best comedian from Indonesia. Many people like to watch his performance because the story which is told is considered very funny. However, some people do not notice that we can find the use of code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. This research aimed to find out English language education study program students' perceptions toward the use of code switching Indonesian English in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. These are the research questions. First, how does code switching make Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance more interesting? Second, what are the positive effects of the use of code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance? Third, what are the bad effects of the use of code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance? And fourth, is code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance really needed? Those questions will be used as the focus of the research to elaborate English language education study program students' perceptions toward the use of code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. And these are the review of related literature. Wargo, 1992, stated that the term code refers to the particular dialect or language that a person chooses, a system used for communication between two or more parties. In linguistics, switching occurs when a speaker alternates between two or more languages or language varieties in the context of a single conversation. According to Bernard Spolsky, 1998, code switching can take place between or even within sentences involving phrases or words or even parts of words. It can be applied in entertainment media such as in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. The study of English borrowings and Indonesian English code switching into collection of block short stories by Anna Marietta da Silva shows that the contemporary Indonesian literary discourse, particularly the teen fiction and more specifically the block short stories, can present an evidence of how Indonesian language has welcomed and responded. English, as one of consequence of the increasing contact with English by means of media, such as motion pictures, songs, free media, TV shows, and education in many fields of life in the past decades. This study shows that relation between code switching and Raditya Dika's collection, including his stand-up comedy. The methodology is the method of this research in collecting the data is interview. The interview consists of 4 questions which collect the information from the interviewee about English language education students' perceptions toward the use of code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. In gathering the data, the researcher have interviewed 10 English language education study program students who have ever watched Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. The interview was held on Wednesday, 29th of April at University Yogyakarta.
Hi, I'm Vita. I'm going to deliver the research result of the use of code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. Based on the interview, the researchers get qualitative data. The qualitative data from the interview are 10 interviewees state that they understand the meaning of code switching which are used in Raditya Dika's comedy because Raditya Dika uses common use words which are capable to be understood. For instance, main futsal aja yuk. In English, let's just play football. Or, kemarin lu chatting ya. In English, you chatted yesterday, didn't you? Or, anime tentang apa nih? In English, what kind of anime is this? Those words can be easily accepted to the interviewees because those words are more understandable and suitable with the context of his jokes. In fact, the interviewees also get more attracted by Raditya Dika's code switching than the use of Bahasa Indonesia in his jokes. In short, code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance can be easily understood because he uses common words to get people attention. Code switching, which is used by Raditya Dika's in stand-up comedy, gives both positive and negative effects. 8 out of 10 interviewees agree that code switching gives positive effects. The positive effects are, first, code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy capable to enrich their vocabulary, especially for English language education study program students who have low vocabulary. And the second, code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy can attract more audience because using Indonesian English code switching is considered as a code style language. On the other hand, 2 out of 10 interviewees disagree that code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance really influences their knowledge of English language because code switching that he used is common use that they already know. And it will affect to the grammatical mistake, especially for some people who do not know the English. Fortunately, there is no grammatical mistake in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy. And some people who do not really know the pronunciation will imitate wrong pronunciation of the comedian. Luckily, there is no mispronunciation in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. Therefore, code switching can give both positive and negative effects to people's knowledge of English language. Based on the interview, 9 out of 10 interviewees agree that using code switching can build good atmosphere. It makes the stand-up comedy becomes more alive and interesting. For instance, gue kemarin lihat ada orang pakai couple t-shirt. In English, I saw a couple wore couple t-shirt yesterday. If the researchers change the bold word into Bahasa Indonesia, couple t-shirt into kaos pasangan, it will no longer interesting, right? In short, code switching really gives good atmosphere in Raditya Dika's comedy performance. Now, talking about the necessity of using code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance, 9 out of 10 interviewees state that code switching is really needed, since code switching itself can make Raditya Dika's comedy more alive and interesting. For the conclusion, based on the interview, the researchers conclude that code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance can give both positive and negative effects. The positive effects are helping audience to understand with the context of the jokes, enrich vocabulary, especially for English language education study program students who have low vocabulary, and attracting more audience because code switching is considered as code style language. It can build a good atmosphere in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy performance. While the negative effects is affecting the grammatical mistake if the comedian does not pay attention to the English structure. It will lead people to pronounce mispronunciation words in English. However, based on the interview, most of the interviewees agree that code switching in Raditya Dika's stand-up comedy is needed in order to make the story more attractive and interesting.